As far as the motion to eliminate, did you want to respond to that?
Your Honor, I believe at one point we spoke about, he asked not to speak on any prior violent acts of his witnesses, of anybody. I have no objection to that. I think at the end of his motion it was a little broad. I'm not sure exactly what
I don't know what you're intending to ask. That's why
I'm going to ask what the witnesses already put on the record, their prior recollection of the events, anything that they said that can be used to show that they have changed their story or they're not honest now. That's all I'm going to ask about. I'm not bringing in too many past events. But we are also going to ask, we have our own motion in limine that the prosecutor instruct the witnesses not to really gaslight my clients, to bring in mental health, to call her mentally ill in any way. There's no proof of that. There's no documentation. They're not doctors, or to say that she has any severe drug problems, or to refer that she was high at this event. There is no proof of that. That's just their speculation.
As it relates to the state's motion, I'll grant that it's an in limine motion, so obviously it's just a preliminary ruling, and I'm going to have to call it as I see it. But the court would agree, prior relationships or relationship problems are not relevant to whether or not the defendant committed the offenses that she's accused of committing on July the 31st. So for the most part, we'll be confining the testimony and evidence to that day. If you feel that there's something relevant outside of that day, Mr. Bodike, obviously you can get into it and Mr. King can object. If it's something that I find that it's not admissible, not only would I sustain an objection, but I would also provide a limiting instruction to the jury not to consider it.
This case isn't about love. It's about what happens when love turns into hostility. One day, one porch, one confrontation that spiraled into criminal charges. And now, 12 jurors must decide whose story holds up in court.
I do, in all honesty, intend to show that there is a motive for them to lie about her. And it's going to be based on, I'm not going to get too deep into...
Yeah, I don't think you need to get into details. You can certainly inquire as to whether or not there's bad blood between the parties. There's nothing wrong with that. That's relevant.
I would like to hear the motive, because that may go right into my motion in limine.
That she was evicted a year and a half ago, that they are still married, just the basic things. I'm not going to get into exactly not everything, all of their prior arguments. But
I think it's fair to get into whether or not they're estranged. And that there's no love lost between the individuals. That's fine, but we're not going to get into specific instances of things that have happened that have caused anger or resentment or whatever.
And I'll bring out she was not on the lease,
and that's fine too.
She wasn't living there.
Yeah. So does that give you proper guidance, Mr. Bodike, as far as what you can get into?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else on behalf of the state?
There you go.
On behalf of the defense? Let's bring him in.
All rise for the jury.
I don't want to loom down on you, by the same token, I don't want to feel like I'm yelling across the room. Please, the court, counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, congratulations or condolences, as the case may be. Probably no one woke up today thinking, oh, pick me, pick me. If you did, congratulations. But as I've said a number of times and will say throughout the trial, but for your participation, we would come to a screeching halt and nothing would get done. So I do thank you for your service, and hopefully you'll get some insight into how these things happen. As the judge said, we're at opening statement. I wasn't there. It's not evidence. Defense counsel wasn't there. I liken it as a kind of pieces of a picture. When the smoke clears, what is the picture going to look like? As you've heard, defendants charged with criminal damaging, criminal mischief, menacing, and disorderly conduct. Some things are not going to be in dispute. Whatever happened on July 31st of this year, 2025. Venue, that's a fancy way of saying where did it happen? It happened in the city of Newark, Licking County, state of Ohio. If it happened in Cleveland, we wouldn't be here. And it was the defendant and nobody else. Wanted to touch a little bit on something defense counsel said about evidence, and that is officers' experience, and wouldn't you want to see photograph or body cam? You know what enough evidence is? Evidence you hear that convinces you beyond a reasonable doubt of the defendant's guilt on these offenses. One of the offenses, two of the offenses, all four of the offenses. That is what is sufficient evidence. I don't know if I'm going to call any of the officers. If I do, put them both on, they have 16 and a half years of experience. I have their body cams. That's what we do in today's age. All officers have body cams. So does defense counsel. The officers weren't there when this happened. All they did was interview witnesses. You're going to hear from those witnesses. I don't need the body cam. So what is the evidence in this case going to show? And let me start off by saying there is animosity amongst everybody involved, and I don't care. What I care about is what happened on July 31st, 2025. On that day, a woman by the name of Kathy Mossholder was sitting on her front porch here in the city of Newark, Licking County, Ohio. She was living there with Donald Lutman, the estranged husband of the defendant, and they had been living there for a time, and they were on the lease. The defendant was not on the lease. Defendant arrived at that location on foot. She wasn't invited, and I believe that Ms. Mossholder will say in describing it that the defendant bull rushed her while she was sitting on the porch. She threatened to kick Ms. Mossholder's ass. Ms. Mossholder will tell you that she is afraid of the defendant, that there is a baseball bat on the porch. She did not hit the defendant with it, but used it to keep her off of the porch. Why? Because she's afraid of her. She's afraid of her because she felt the defendant would cause her physical harm. But it's not over. Once in the yard, the defendant picked up a walking stone, decorative stone, threw it at Ms. Mossholder. She then picked up one of those solar lamps, lights that are outside, threw it at Ms. Mossholder and hit her. Not charged with assault. Ms. Mossholder will say it didn't really hurt, but it did break. In addition, you'll see a photograph that shows that there is part of a picket fence that was damaged by the defendant. In any event, Ms. Mossholder indicated to the defendant she was going to call the police. The defendant indicated she would kill her. The defendant then left the scene on foot well before officers arrived. The officers arrived. They did look for her, could not find the defendant anywhere. And that's not the only testimony you'll hear from Ms. Mossholder. Cassandra Dyer is a neighbor of Ms. Mossholder. I think she lives 2 doors down, something like that. And she witnessed what happened. She witnessed the defendant making the threats to Ms. Mossholder. She witnessed the defendant throwing objects at Ms. Mossholder. State contends that on July 31st, 2025, in the city of Newark, Licking County, Ohio, the defendant picked up, moved, or damaged the fence, the walking stone, the solar light, threw them at Ms. Mossholder, causing Ms. Mossholder to believe she would cause her harm. That the defendant then fled after she knew the police were coming and was not located when the police arrived. Throughout this whole thing, the state of Ohio believes that you will find the defendant's conduct was disorderly. She caused inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, among other things, by her violent and turbulent behavior, her threats, her destruction and picking up property, and that she is in fact guilty as charged. This is just an outline. The details will be filled in by the testimony and any exhibits that are admitted. Simply ask that you keep an open mind. Listen to the evidence, take it all in, and reserve judgment until the judge tells you what the law is, what I'm required to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And I believe using your reason and common sense, you will find that the defendant is guilty as charged. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. Mr. Bodak, your opening statement?
Thank you, Your Honor. This case is what happens when the state fails to hear both sides of the story and fails to investigate the case thoroughly. Sydney Lutman was born in Newark, Ohio. She grew up here her whole life, hasn't got out much. Father worked at a factory, Rockwell factory in Heath, before it closed. Mother worked at a nursing home. She was then married to the alleged victim in this case for 21 years now. They are still married. About a year and a half ago, she was evicted from the apartment that she was living at with her husband. You'll find that the other named victim in this case, she moved into that home within 2 weeks afterwards. Sydney has 2 children. The whole time they were married, she was a stay-at-home wife, raising her kids. I anticipate you'll hear from 3 victims in this case: her husband, the new roommate, and the next-door neighbor. You also will hear from the officers who investigated this case, but you don't have any other testimony or evidence besides their word. We believe at the end of this trial that this is not going to be credible. None of those witnesses are credible. And you will learn and find out that the only real victim in this case is my client, Sydney Lutman. And you will go back into that jury room and be happy to find her not guilty of all these charges. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bodak. Mr. King, your first witness, sir?
Kathy Mossholder.
Very well. You may inquire, Mr. King.
Thank you. Ma'am, a couple of questions. How long have you lived at that address?
It'll be 2 years in 2026.
Okay. And who do you reside there with?
Donald Lutman,
And what is your relationship to Mr. Lutman?
30-year-old friend.
Okay. And do you know a Cindy Lutman?
Yes, I do.
And is she in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Point her out, if you would, to the jury.
Sitting right over there.
Okay. You pointed to a table with 2 people. Which one is it?
Oh, Cindy, the one with the hat on.
Okay. Record reflects she has identified the defendant.
Mr. Bodak, any objection to having the record reflect that the witness has identified your client?
No objection.
Record will so reflect.
And were you living at the address that you gave back on July 31st of this year?
Yes, sir.
And did you have occasion on that date to see Ms. Lutman?
On which day?
July 31st of 2025?
Yes.
And describe the circumstances, what happened.
Well, earlier in the day, she had been texting Donnie all day long, saying that she was going to come to the house. You know, she wants to beat me up. She's going to attack me, blah, 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 blah. And we just ignored him.
Okay.
And I was out on the porch with my dogs that afternoon. And next thing I know, she just comes out of nowhere up onto the porch.
Now, how did she come up onto the porch?
She just came running up on the porch.
I think in your statement you called it a bull rush.
Yeah, because I was just sitting there and she just took the gate and everything just came right up on the porch.
Did she say anything as she was coming up on the porch?
Oh yeah, I want to see my husband. I want to talk to my husband. And I'm like, he doesn't want to talk to you. You need to leave.
Did you get her off the porch?
Yeah, I backed her off the porch
And how'd you do that?
with a baseball bat
And why did you have a baseball bat?
because she had been threatening me for months that she's going to jump me.
Okay. Well, are you afraid of her?
Well, yeah.
Okay, hang on. So you got her off the porch, then what happened?
She started grabbing things, screaming, just all kinds of obscenities, saying she was going to get me, going to get him, throwing things at me.
What kind of things?
She picked up the stepping stone out of the flower bed, threw it at me, took one of the LED little lights that I have around the flower bed. She picked up and tossed it at me.
Now, did that hit you?
Both of them hit me, but they didn't hurt me.
Okay, and what happened to that light?
It just was laying there on the
Did it
sidewalk.
break?
Yeah, it shattered.
Okay. Is there a fence anywhere around the property?
Yeah, the little flower bed off on the corner of the property over here, it's all fenced in. She got mad because Donnie kept telling her to leave, you need to leave, you need to leave. And she just destroyed it, attacked it.
If I may approach a witness.
Yes, you may.
Whose fence is it?
That would be the landlord bills. He owns the property, I rent.
Showing you Plaintiff's Exhibit 1, can you identify that?
Yes, that's the fence.
And does it truly and accurately depict the damage that was done to it?
Yes.
How long was she there?
I'm gonna estimate 10, 15 minutes maybe.
Based on her threats and her actions, were you afraid of her?
Yeah, because she kept trying to come at me and Donnie had to get in between us.
Did you ever tell her, well, did you ever call the police?
Yes.
Did you tell her that?
Oh, I was telling her I'm calling the police.
Okay. Police arrived approximately when?
20, 30 minutes after I called, baby, depending on, how long it for them to answer, get to you.
And was Cindy Lutman on the scene at that point in time?
No, she done already ran.
She didn't get in the car or anything, she left on foot?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know an individual by the name of Cassandra Dyer?
Yes, she's a neighbor lady up the street.
Up the street, how far away does she live?
2 doors down.
Okay, same side of the street?
Yes, sir.
And did she ever come over?
Yeah, she came down when she seen the police and let the police know that she
Okay,
had
well,
heard.
don't say what she let the police know. We'll
Right,
hear
right,
from
right.
her. Her conduct, in addition to the threats and her actions, does that cause any inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm?
Oh, yeah, I walk to and fro work every day. She's constantly,
Well, no, I just mean on that day. I'm trying to limit
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing. Okay. And did
She
you
was
ever
very
tell her to
heat-
quit it? Did you ever tell her to stop?
every day.
This day?
Yes, that day, yes. I asked her why she was even here. She wasn't invited here. She's not allowed here.
And
She kept coming.
when you told her to calm down and quit her behavior and to leave, did she?
No, sir.
Nothing further. Your Honor.
Cross-examination, Mr. Bodek?
Yes, sir. You told officers that Ms. Lutman bull rushed you on the steps, is that correct?
Not on the steps, onto the porch.
Under the porch. There's steps.
There's
that
3
go up
steps
to your
before.
porch.
There's a gate that keeps the dogs on the porch. And then I was up in my rocking chair.
And you were holding a baseball bat at the
I
time?
always have my baseball bat on the porch.
And you had a pit bull next to you.
A what?
Pit bull.
I have Peaches next to me. Yes, she is a pit bull.
Okay. But you also told the officers if you wouldn't have had a bat, she would have came on the porch.
No,
You
I,
made those statements. You also said if you wouldn't have had a baseball bat, then Sydney would have came up on that porch. Is that correct?
no, I don't remember anything about that. I remember telling the police that I did have the baseball bat.
I have a Your Honor.
Yes, you may.
Counsel. May I
Oh,
have a sidebar real quick?
Oh, yeah, hold on a second, let's do a little. You may proceed, Mr. Bodek.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you stated that you moved in 2 years ago, is that correct?
It will be 2 years in July 2026.
What's your relationship with Mr. Lutman?
He is a lifelong friend. I've known him for 30 years. Him and my deceased husband were very close friends.
Did you call him to the officer brother?
Yes, he is my brother.
Did you also stay on body cam? You called him baby.
Excuse me?
Did you call him baby to the officer?
Yes, I do call him baby.
You also said to the officers, is correct, that the day after Sydney Lutman was evicted, that you were on the porch, you were at his house that day?
The day she was evicted,
Day after?
I moved in the day after she was evicted.
Okay. But you also said you moved in 2 weeks after.
No. No, wait a minute. No, I did move in 2 weeks after. You're right. It was the 14th of July or so I moved in. But I was not there the day she and the landlord had the conversation. I was not there for that.
Was Sydney Lutman evicted?
As far as I know, I don't know. I wasn't in that conversation.
Did you tell the officers that Sydney Lutman decided to leave on her own?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you write in your CPO, Civil Protection Order proceeding?
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis?
What CPO? We're way afield. I've never been provided with anything.
Your Honor?
It's impeachment. I'll overrule the objection. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Did you say in your CPO document that Sydney Lutman was in fact evicted?
She was by the landlord.
So did she leave or was she evicted?
From what I gathered, the conversation with her, the landlord, is that Bill told her that she either had to go or he was going to evict her, and she chose to leave.
So you told the officers she chose to leave?
Yeah.
But you wrote
How else? That's
in
what
your-
I put in there.
But you wrote in your Civil Protection Order that she was evicted.
She was, that's considered
No.
eviction. The landlord asked her to leave.
But you, again, are you saying that she left on her own accord or was she evicted?
Objection, Your Honor. We've been over this and over this.
Move on.
I'll sustain the objection. You may proceed to another line of questioning, Mr. Bodek.
Yes, Your Honor. You allege that Sydney, Ms. Lutman, has been texting your husband consistently. Is that
Not
correct?
my husband, it's her husband.
Sorry. Your roommate consistently, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
He has evidence of that, I do not.
Making threats.
Yes? Against me.
At one point, actually, the day of this incident, you allege that she texted her husband saying that she was going to show up that day.
Yep.
Did you provide any of those text messages to the officer?
We showed officers several text messages that day.
Are you sure about that?
I believe so. I mean, there was a lot going on right then and there. I can't be for sure exactly what all was taken.
Did you give the officers a few compliments that day?
What do you mean give them
Did you tell them
compliments?
that you support the police?
Oh yeah, I
That
support
they
the
have
police
the hardest
department.
job?
Yes,
Outside of being a mother, it's one of the most difficult jobs there is, isn't it?
it is.
That you appreciate their work.
Well, of course I do.
You actually complimented another officer, didn't you, who shows up to your work quite often? Can you tell us who that is?
Excuse?
You said
I'm confused.
you were aware of another officer that shows up to your job quite often. Is that correct?
I don't know what you're referring to. I don't understand. I am an assistant manager at Family Dollar. If I have problems at the store, I'm going to call the police.
Who typically shows up?
I think Officer Ellis.
Officer Ellis, thank you. And did you make the statements that he has arrested people more than a few times on your account?
Objection.
Did you make
I'll sustain
statements?
that. That's a little far afield.
Okay. Did you allege to the officers you tried to call the cops on Miss Lutman many times?
Repeat that, please.
Did you tell the officers you've tried to call the cops on Miss Lutman many times in the past?
Well, yes.
And none of them would have did you say that none of them would have done anything?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, this goes to credibility. I'm going to go ahead and overrule the objection. You may continue, Mr. Bodek.
What am I?
Did you
Go
tell the
ahead.
officer that no other officer would pick this case up?
No, I didn't say any. None of the what?
Did you say that no officer would do anything? You've been calling the cops, but no officer would do anything.
They couldn't do anything because she was no longer on the scene. That I needed to go file for a protection order, which I did.
Did you say they wouldn't do anything because they were still married?
No, what's that got to do with what's going on between me and her?
Are you aware that the other witness in this case has video cameras at her house? No.
There should be no other witnesses. It was just me, Donnie, and her.
You're saying there wasn't another witness?
Well, that came up the street. Yes, the lady
Cassandra?
down the street. Yeah,
And was she
she wasn't there when me and Cindy and Donnie were on the front porch. No,
Was
she
she
come
sitting-
down later after the.
was
She heard
sitting
yelling.
right next to you when you made your statements to the police?
Well, yeah, she was down there when after the police had came.
So she heard everything you said to the police?
Who?
Cassandra.
I would think so, because we were all sitting there filling statements out at the same time.
Okay. Are you aware she has a hearing problem?
I don't know her that well to know she has a hearing problem.
Now, you're alleging that my client threw a stone at you, correct?
A stepping stone, yes,
And a small plastic solar light?
yes.
Did you have any injuries?
Not at the moment, nope.
Did you take any pictures of injuries?
Nope.
And you allege that she said, I will kill you.
Oh, several times she said that through before this day and after this day.
Did you forward any of those texts to the officer?
Yes, there's been a couple officers, I can't remember.
Objection, are we talking about the 31st of July?
Just go ahead and restate your question, if you would, please.
On the 31st of July, did you have text messages corroborating your story that she was continuously threatening you?
Yes, on Donnie's phone.
Did you provide any of those text messages to an officer?
Not to the officer, but to the courts, to his office. As a matter of fact, Sarah.
You have to wait for a
Oh.
question, okay?
What did you say to Miss Letman when you claimed she tried to bull rush you?
Am I allowed to say dirty words?
Yes, you may.
Get the fuck off my porch.
Did you say you'd fuck her up?
Yeah, she come up on my porch. It's my porch. I have the lease. It's my house. We've told her over and over again she's not welcome there anymore. So, yeah, I told her to get the fuck off my porch.
Did you tell the officers you wanted to stay neutral between this
Their
married
marriage. But when she threw me in and started threatening me, yeah, then she made it my business.
couple? Were you aware of where she was staying?
That's not my concern.
Did you tell the officers you knew she was staying in an abandoned house down the street?
I probably did.
Did you tell the officers that you called the owner of that abandoned house to notify them? To somebody?
No, I did not tell the officers that.
Did you tell the officers that you called him and he told you nobody was supposed to be living there?
I did not call the landlord. I don't know who the landlord is to that place. I don't know what you're talking about.
Calm down.
Thank you.
All right, may I have a moment to find your statements?
Take a moment.
I'm on the porch with my dog.
It's your statement that she did come up after you that night on the porch, is that correct?
Excuse me?
You made the statement that my client came up to you on the porch, is that correct?
Yes, I was on my porch.
That she came after you, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Your Honor, my approach, show it the witness,
Well, go ahead and publish it to Mr. King first, real quick.
all this, Defense Exhibit 1.
What is it?
This is the officer's body cam.
Let me see it. Okay, I couldn't see the porch. Got it.
Okay, and actually, we're going to have you designate your exhibits with letters and the statal use numbers.
It's Defense Exhibit A.
There you go.
Can you see the video
I
behind
can see
you?
it right here.
Okay.
Is that you on it?
That's me sitting right there.
Do you recall what this video is?
It's
It
probably
doesn't-
when I was talking to an officer.
Okay. And it was your statement that City Lemon came on your porch, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If I would have had the
He
baseball bat,
you know,
she would have tried to come up
he got
after me.
away.
Yeah.
And it's also your statement that you didn't know who the landlord was where Sidney Lutman was alleged to have been living, is that correct?
I don't know his name.
At its core, this trial comes down to one question. What really happened that day? When emotions run high, credibility becomes everything. In the end, the verdict rests on facts, not feelings.